So good afternoon, or good morning, I should say. Thank you for joining our session. I appreciate your patience in working with us as we figure out the logistics of doing all of this. You are in the workshop for Hawk Cares. We are going to be, let me introduce myself first of all. I'm Yolanda Garcia, Dean of Student Services. Oh my gosh. And something went wrong with my internet right now. Gosh. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I have no idea what just happened to my computer. Okay, goodness. As I said, I'm Yolanda Garcia, Dean of Student Services. Can you go to the next slide, Madeline?
Yes.
I'd like to go around and have the staff introduce themselves as the Hawk Cares team. So introductions, if we can go ahead and start with Militia.
Hi, my name is Militia Blakes, and I am the Hawk Cares Homes for Hawks case manager.
Madeline?
Hi, I'm Madeline Velasquez, and I'm the Hawk Cares ambassador.
Oscar? I know Oscar's been experiencing some internet issues. So Oscar is a student life supervisor, and he oversees the Hawk Cares program. So just to let you know a little bit about what we are going to do today is share with you is we're going to discuss the history of Hawk Cares, what we have been doing, how it was, we started this project, the present, what we're currently doing, and what we hope to be able to do in the future. As you know, working from home and having the campus closed, we've had to kind of pause a little bit of our services, but we have some exciting things coming up when we return to campus. We're also going to be talking about some partnerships that we have in the community. Militia will go into further detail about the Homes for Hawks program. Madeline will share the Hawk Spot and Hawk Swap, and then we'll open it up for questions. Madeline, you can go to the next. For those who aren't speaking, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Madeline, you can go to the next one as well. Okay, Oscar. Okay, so I think he's still having some issues.
Sorry, I was trying to log in through my phone because I've been having issues. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. Oscar Mendoza Plasencia, supervisor of basic needs. So one thing we're excited is to have open some of the services for basic needs, especially the Homes for Hawks. But right now we're just talking about the Hawk Spot, which is our food pantry. In 2016, we had the grand opening. Although a small space, it was a great resource for our students. Right now, we're happy to offer more of a. Sorry, my internet's on. More items to our students, including pasta and other items, more than just the initial snacks. So right now we'll be talking about the current services. But I want to make sure that you understand that it's a huge impact for our students. We serve several hundred students each week through the food pantry. But now that we're remote during COVID, we have service. So,
Oscar, you're cutting out quite a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and try to take over. I'll discuss your slides. So as Oscar was mentioning, when we're on campus, we have given away vegetables, fresh veggies and produce. I believe that was on Thursdays. Everything seems like a little bit of a blur now. And this pantry, the food pantry, the Hawk Spot, was open a couple of days a week. As Oscar said, serving over 100 students a week. And then certain times of the year, we're able to provide some additional treats or food. And in this case, this is a picture of our turkey giveaway in 2019. We were able to provide turkeys or chickens to over 200 families. And we'll discuss it a little bit further in the presentation, but initially when we opened the food pantry, we had a relationship with the Elk Grove Food Bank. We then kind of outgrew that. There was more students that were experiencing food insecurity, so we ended up forming a relationship with the Sacramento Food Bank, who was able to provide us a substantial amount of food on a weekly basis. We could have deliveries once a week. We ended up lightening that because there was so much food, which is really great. It was just no space for it. Okay, Madeline, you can go to the next one. So there's our Thursday produce. So this was kind of outside, along with the Sacramento Food Bank, but it didn't, because we have a budget set up with the Sacramento Food Bank. So there's a certain portion that we have to pay the Sac Food Bank. It's very minimal, and it's more just for operating cost. But once a week, we were able to get, as you'll see, quite a bit of produce delivered. And this kind of fell outside of whatever we had to pay, right? So it was nice because we were able to send out, many of you may have received that email, hey, there's some produce, come and let your students know, and you feel free to come as well. We didn't want to just limit it to students because we really wanted to destigmatize kind of that notion of, being food insecure. And so it's been really great because students and staff can go out, come together and pick out produce for themselves and their families. And that'll return once we get back onto campus as well. So as I said, the food pantry is very small. It's the size of a faculty office. That's really what it is. And the team has managed to really utilize it to the best that they can. It's very organized. But when we do go back to campus, we will have secured P48. So that's a portable that was used previously by the Admissions and Business Services Office. So in there, it'll be a centralized location for the Hawk Cares program. So everything basic needs related will fall into that portable. The Homes for Hawks program, which Melissa will discuss a little bit later, and the food and the clothing, which Medlin will share. So it's a great space. We're extremely excited. It's going to quadruple the size. We'll have refrigeration and shelving in there. And then there will be a room designated as a clothing closet. And then the Hawk Cares manager, which is Militia, will also be housed in there. And we'll also have an office or two for community service agencies if they send staff out to do various things. Let's say maybe CalFresh helps students apply for SNAP, for food stamps. I should pause right there and just ask if there's any questions with anything that I've shared so far. Militia, if you don't mind helping me with the chat, if any chat questions have come up. That doesn't look like it. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat or ask them, okay? So I'm gonna go on to sharing our community partnerships. So of course, we can't make Hawk Cares happen without getting the help and building partnerships with community agencies. Go to the next slide, Madeline. So as you have maybe received, you see that we sent out emails letting the campus community know about the different resources we're offering on campus. So we refer students to various areas. Students come into the office asking for a variety of assistance. The Hot Cares program, we rely significantly on contributions and donations from the community, and that includes the college staff and faculty. Giving Tuesday has been one of our huge fundraising events where we've been able to, luckily, staff and faculty have blessed us with tons of donations, and that's really what helps keep things going. Because there are certain funds associated with basic needs and the food insecurities, but those funds can only be spent on specific things. So there's items outside of that we would like to be able to provide students, and that's where those donations really come in and help quite a bit. For instance, diapers or feminine hygiene products, items such as that, those types of things we can't purchase with the funds that we have. Anything, any donations that are provided can help cover those costs. Militia, feel free to add in, and Medlin, some additional things that we've been able to purchase. I think we were able to purchase a microwave along with some like forks and things like that we're able to put out of the Hot Cares room, because often students maybe they'll come with like a cup of soup or oatmeal, but didn't have hot water to be able to make those things while they're on campus. So Oscar and his team have a table out there, again, with the microwave, hot water for students to be able to use.
Yeah, we have coffee, we have we had oatmeal, whatever. There was ready-made food, or ready-made food already in our pantry, and we'd give that out to students that were hungry at the time, and they could warm it up or put water in it using that table.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. Oh, here we go. No, I'm sorry. So as I mentioned, we started with the Outgrow Food Bank, kind of grew out of that, and working with the Sacramento Food Bank now. And they're just been an incredible community resource for our students. You can go to the next slide, please. So as we said earlier, we're going to be discussing the Homes for Hawks program. And part of that is a housing voucher program that we have. And that was made possible through our partnership with Lutheran Social Services. So Lutheran Social Services is part of a group of other social service agencies that provide housing vouchers to homeless youth between the ages of 18 and 24. Correct me if I'm wrong, Militia. And so this is in addition to, this is with their partnership through the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency. So we were awarded 25 housing vouchers through this program, through this partnership. This is how we were also able to hire Militia to be the Hot Cares program manager. So we have 25 vouchers. So what she does, and she'll share a little bit more about that. So I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but this is very exciting. This is a partnership that we developed just in this past year. And it's just been a really great opportunity for our students. I'm sorry for the noise in the background. I have a dog and children here that are trying to do some remote learning as well. Okay, you can go to the next. Okay, Militia.
Okay, so the housing vouchers, we can go to the next slide. I can talk about, there we go. So these are the requirements for the P3 housing vouchers. And as Yolanda had said, I work with Lutheran Social Services and Sacramento Housing and SHRA. So what they do is, it's similar to a Section 8 voucher, and it can turn into a lifetime voucher for the student. But our goal is to get the student signed up for the voucher. Once they get the voucher, they get to look for their own apartment. Section 8 will pay a portion of it, and they'll pay a portion. Our ideal candidate would be in this situation for 3 years. They get 3 years of case management, which is you know, working with them on their schooling, working with them on their housing, helping them become more independent, working with them all the way up until graduation. And then even further, if they are transferring out, they can give the voucher back or they can take the voucher with them. So the case management, it's pretty intense, and it covers a lot more areas than just school. But for now, it is for students between the ages of 18 and 24 years old. So far, we have 12 students that have applied. We've got one student, and this is since February, we've got one student that just got their voucher today. And so we'll be looking for an apartment or a house for them. They get 4 months, after they get the voucher approved, they have 4 months to find a unit and lease up. And then from there, they get to stay in it, you know, as long as they want. We renew it every year. But our goal is to have them there for 3 years, or from the time they come in until they graduate, and, you know, help them become more independent, and then they can kind of move out on their own and pay their own rent. But these are the requirements that are listed on here. We can go to the next slide. Is the next slide behind? Yeah, so basically, if the student wants to apply, as you see here, the link is on this slide, but you can go to the Homes for Hawks website or the Hawk Cares website, and there's an application on there that the student can fill out. And that application is just for us to see if they qualify. I don't make the final decision on whether they get the voucher, but I start the application for them and I submit it to SHRA, and I do all the footwork that needs to be done for them to get approved. So when they fill out this application online, it's just basically for us to go through to make sure that they meet all the qualifications. And if they do, we'll go ahead and have them either, what we've been doing is having them meet me at V Street, which is a extension of Lutheran Social Services. I will give them the application. They'll go home, they'll fill it out, they'll bring it back, and I'll go ahead and submit it. But if they would like to, as I said, if they'd like to sign up, they need to go to this website. They need to go to Hawk Cares website, click on Homes for Hawks, and fill out that first application, and it goes into a Google Doc. It usually takes us between 2 or 3 days to get them verified. We do look at their GPA, we look at their class schedule, their history. CRC is primarily needs to be their home school, but if they've attended classes at other colleges, that's fine, but we would like for them to be a CRC student. And I think that's it for that. Are there any questions about the voucher? Okay. Take it away.
So I'm going to go into detail of the Hawk Spot. So the Hawk Spot is the campus's food pantry. While we're in remote operations, the food pantry does remain closed, but when we do go back onto campus, it will reopen with all of its function, including the weekly fresh produce that we provided. So we wanted to somehow continue to implement the support for food that students have. There's clearly a need, especially right now with COVID happening. A lot of students lost their jobs or had pay reductions. So in order to support them as best we could, we offered e-cards for grocery shopping. We were able to secure 440 Walmart e-gift cards at a value of $25 each, and a student with a household of more than 4 individuals was able to receive 2 e-gift cards. The way we got the information on who to send the application to was based on a student who had the highest need and was enrolled in fall 2020. And we partnered up with financial aid to get that list of who has completed a FAFSA and who has that unmet need. And as of now, we will be emailing those who applied and were approved on August 24th. Now, as was mentioned, we also have the Hawk Swap, which is our clothing closet. Prior to having secured P48, it was the clothing swap where students would actually swap clothing. But now with COVID-19, that changed a lot. So One of the biggest changes we'll be implementing moving forward is we're no longer accepting clothing donations by community members, staff, students. Just because of the safety of the students, we want to make sure that the clothing we do have is cleaned. And right now we don't have any connection or any partnership with the cleaners to have those clothing periodically cleaned. We are working in conversation with certain cleaners to see if we can get the clothing that we already have cleaned out so that it would be safe to put out for students. Another thing we're working on is trying to get partnerships with local stores that provide clothing to have clothing donated from their store, so it would be new clothing, so we wouldn't have to worry about the aspect of washing it every week or bi-weekly. And we're working on it as time progresses, so hopefully by the time we get on campus, we'll have something settled. Now here's a visual of what we anticipate the Hawk Swap looking like. We want it to be a permanent clothing closet where a student can walk in and we'll have clothes hang, fold, shoes even, and a student can simply walk in, select what they need, and this can be available during the week and they can come and utilize it as they need. So something that's key to remember is that all these services are available to the student, but so many students don't even realize that these services exist. And as staff and faculty, we're always surrounded by so many students and they all come from different walks of life. We don't know what a student is dealing with behind closed doors. So it's really important to be able to know what services we offer and where to refer them to when they need the assistance. Alicia?
So I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. So where to refer student? Hawk Cares, we have, like I said, 3 main services. We have the Homes for Hawks, which is a housing vouchers right now. The Hawk Spot, what we're doing is giving out e-cards and food assistance in the Hawk Swap. But if you wanted to donate, you would go through we would go through the philanthropy office. These are some other services. The current services we also have for students is a Los Rios Emergency Fund, which is happening right now, and a past service, which was the emergency hotel rooms for CRC students. We anticipate having the hotel voucher system up and running when we get back to the campus. But for now, it's just been like the emergency hotel rooms, and that is basically funded by money that's donated. And currently, correct me if I'm wrong, that has been shut down because we don't have any funds in that account right now, but we are looking to have that service once we do get back onto campus.
And then where to refer students to any of our services. The easiest way to do this is the link is on the slide, but you can also find it at the Hawk Cares webpage. It just recently got added where there'll be a link where it says refer student to Hawk Cares, and it'll just ask, it can be a self-referral, which means the student can fill it out themselves, or it could be by a staff or faculty member, which can help the student fill out the referral. It just asks simple information like the student's name, their ID number and contact information, and what services they would need or are interested in learning a bit more about. And that's available anytime, especially during remote operations. It's the easiest way to get in contact with one of us because we'll be checking it periodically to see if any student would like more information or needs a certain assistance with the service. So as of yesterday, we have 14,564 students enrolled at CRC. And the biggest question we have to ask is, how many of those need our assistance meeting their basic needs, especially in these challenging times?
So what we have done in the past is we've worked with the research department to do surveys. And that's how we got most of our information about, the student population that's experiencing basic needs. We plan on doing more in the future. We anticipate the numbers to be really high because, after coming out of COVID, some of the people that weren't experiencing basic needs insecurities before may very well be experiencing them now due to COVID. And so we're going to do another round of surveys so we can get an accurate idea of how many of our students are suffering from basic needs insecurity.
Okay, so in thinking about how you can get involved, there's a number of things that you can help us do. That's really just spreading the word, right? Letting students know that we're here, the programs that we're able to provide. And I know work in this remote environment, it's hard, but please feel free to send an email to Oscar, call Oscar. Same thing with Militia, call her. Militia is really great in helping individuals find resources. And the whole team is. So we'll do everything we can to find resources, right? Once we are on ground, feel free to donate some of your time in helping get P48 up and running. That would be, greatly appreciated. Even if you can donate bags. Bags are another thing that we need, right? Whether it be paper bags or plastic bags, reusable bags. And I also wanted to point out too, in addition to the monetary donations, right, through the Office of Philanthropy, but I just want to tell you about just the great job that the team has been doing. At first when we opened up the food pantry, it was like, okay, let's just order a bunch of different things, right? And it wasn't a lot of thought or intention put into what was being ordered. Over the last year, the Oscar, Militia, and Medlin have really been thoughtful in the food that they're getting from the Sacramento Food Bank. So what I mean by that is ordering items that would make a full meal. So pasta, spaghetti sauce, things that went beyond just being snack or junk food. Because we really wanted to be able to provide students and their families, a good meal, right? Militia, Medlin, you can feel free to add to that as well. Go ahead.
So we were able to buy like shelf-stable milk and, a lot more nutritious food, because prior to that, we had a little bit of an issue of getting food that was expired. We're not comfortable giving out expired food. So we had to start ordering different things. And a lot of it, like she said, was candy bars and cookies and things of that nature. But we intentionally, took a trip out to Sacramento Food Bank and looked at their inventory to see what they had. And we started getting more nutritional food. So when a student comes in, it wasn't just like random stuff. I didn't want them to have random stuff. I wanted them to have something they can complete a full meal with, or several full meals. And so now that we've gotten down how to order from Sacramento Food Bank, we've been able to do that. Our pantry is going to quadruple in size. And like Yolanda mentioned, we'll have refrigeration. So now when students come in, they can get fresh produce, they can get milk, they can get food that needs to be refrigerated. We'll have a bigger variety. And we've also partnered with a place called Pitco. That's a wholesale, it's kind of like it's not really a grocery wholesaler, but they sell products to like small convenience stores. And so we can buy like frozen vegetables, frozen burritos, stuff like that you can warm up in the microwave. So they'll have a bigger variety and more fresh food available to them after we get back. I hope that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I think there was a slide that just passed, but if you are able, I know it's kind of late in the game now, but if you would be able to put a blurb on your syllabus about hot cares, that would be much appreciated. I'm going to go through a couple of the chat questions information.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes, so once Starfish is implemented, can referrals be made? Yes, absolutely. We will have hot cares in there. Is CRC getting any money from Project Room Key? No, So maybe Alex, we could talk a little bit more about that. And maybe that's a resource that you know that we could tap into. Yes, Militia and Medlin can share with you, Jackie, a flyer, some information that can be posted in Canvas. We also have example, I believe, syllabus statements that we can share as well.
Thank you. Okay.
What type of clothing is typically available? The students I work with often need business casual for attending conferences. Militia, Medlin, or you want to speak to that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Oscar said we're looking for all types of clothing, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we're trying to partner with like Walmart, Kohl's, like some of the department stores that are in the area, and ask them if they would donate, you know, clothes to our students. And so we would like to have business casual. We'd like to have a variety of stuff, but again, we're looking to get more new stuff, not necessarily donated stuff from the community. So we're still in conversation with these stores, and hopefully we'll have something significant by the time we go back to give you information, I guess, to tell you about that. You're welcome. Did you want to add anything, Medlin?
No, I think you just about covered it. We like to have a variety to choose from. I know before, when we were getting community donations, the majority of clothes we had were for women. So now that we are going to potentially partner up with department stores, we are focusing on having an equal amount for men and women, because we want to be as equitable as possible for students to have a wide variety of selections. Even we had children's clothing for a while too, that was available for students who have younger children in their household.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'll be having the worst internet connection this morning. One thing I want to say is that before we went working remotely, we had community partners that reached out to us, and they were very excited to work with basic needs. We had some partners that were bringing new clothes as well, because they had connections with other agencies or other programs. So we're definitely looking to expand our services, and we cannot do it alone. And that's why we're looking to the community ourselves. I know some of you are part of something much larger, might be a church or other organizations. We're definitely looking to partner, with faculty, staff, and also the community. So we urge you to get in contact with one of us if that's something you want to do.
I also wanted to discuss or share a couple other items. One is that there are showers available to all students, on the campus. So those are the showers, our homeless students that are in the locker rooms. So the Hot Cares program does have, again, when we're on campus, a towel and some toiletries for the students to use. That's another area of need, right, is the towels and toiletries. The second thing is that we have also, and it wasn't mentioned in here, but the Gowns for Grads program. And so that really stemmed, and it's not a basic need, but it is something that we saw that there was a need for. So come graduation time, students have to pay for their cap and gown. And that was a cost that was really making or breaking whether a student was gonna participate in graduation or not. So we decided to do some fundraising for that. And what we did was we asked our prior graduates if they wanted to donate their old cap, their gown, not their cap, their gown. And we get those cleaned. And then through the Office of Philanthropy, donations to buy the cap and gown for the students. And I don't remember offhand, I don't know if Medlin or Militia remember, but we didn't have commencement this past year, obviously, but the year before there was a good amount of students who were assisted through that program.
Yeah. I don't have all that information, but there were.
I want to say probably close to 30. I may be wrong. But, another great resource for our students, like I said, especially if students can't afford that, and that's the only, you're required to have your cap and gown to participate in graduation, right? There's a couple other questions.
I can answer the shower.
Okay.
So right now, we don't have a system for showers. What was happening is that there's this bill, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was to allow students to take showers on campus. So, you know, we did a little bit of research to find out about, you know, how that was going. And currently it was being monitored by, I think, the gym staff. And it wasn't, they were supposed to be the ones that were monitoring it, but they didn't really have time to do that. So what we found out is that there was a lot of people that were going in there taking showers, and they were kind of like living in there. There was people in there using drugs. Like, there was a whole lot of just not good. So right now we're trying to figure out a system where if the student wants to take a shower, they can probably come over to the hot cares. We can give them toiletries, we can give them a towel. Maybe we can walk them over there and make sure they get in safely and get out safely. We're trying to put that into, we're trying to get a system down for that. It's just we didn't have it when we left. So we'll be working on that once we get back to the campus to make it safe for the students to go in and actually, you know, kind of dignified as well for the student to go in and take a shower. I also wanted to add something else. I didn't really talk a lot about the hotel vouchers. So the hotel voucher, our idea of what we want to do with the hotel voucher program is that the hotel voucher will allow 14 days for a student to be housed at a hotel. And so once they go, we have a partnership with Extended Stay America. So once a student will be referred to the hotel, I will then work with them to try to get them to a better situation, whether it be referring them out to some community resources, getting them a voucher, but that will be a way to kind of get them off of the streets, get them kind of in a position where they can sleep, they can eat, they can think clearly, and then I can work with them to maybe see if we can improve their situation. So that's our idea of how we're gonna use our hotel voucher program moving forward. In the past, what it's been used for is just emergency situations for students that are suffering homelessness due to COVID. And so that's the difference between the one in hot cares and the one that's happening now. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And there were students placed into the hotel. I forget about how many, but I want to say maybe 10.
I think there was about 10, and that was being handled through Michelle Steiner in the philanthropy office. But I do think there was about 10 students.
And again, that was through Extended Stay, the one off of like Elk Grove Boulevard and I-5. Really great manager there that's been helping our students and us through this process.
Yes.
You can, Oscar, I don't know, Oscar, can you want to talk about the advisory group? I don't know if your internet's okay now to speak to that.
Yes. So we want to make sure that when we provide that service to our students, we provide the service through different lenses. I know that faculty, you know, you are the center of this because you spend more time with our students, and many times our students find comfort in speaking to you in your office hours, and they might for. So what we want to do is form this advisory committee so we can get input from all constituents, faculty, staff, administration, and including students. Let's not forget students. So if you are interested in providing some feedback and
sorry, it looks like he cut out again. But I think you all know where Oscar was getting is that we will,
this amazing,
Oscar, you cut out quite some time. So we will, if you're interested in joining the advisory group, please send a message to Oscar. We will also at some point put out a call. Okay. Is the shower option available for fall? Unfortunately, it's not since the campus is closed. I'm gonna take a look at the chat again. Okay, looks like everything's there. So for more information, we ask that you visit the Hot Cares website. You can reach us by email, and there's some great information there. And again, if you want any additional information or you have students that you'd like to refer, feel free to do so. And any of us can take that referral and get the student the assistance that they need. Any questions?
Do you see that question, Yolanda? It's about
Yeah,
showers.
I have not heard of that.
I've never
So
heard that either.
that is something, showers on wheels.
But there's a link there. So it's,
Okay.
I would look into that.
There will be a referral option in Starfish to send students, to refer students to basic needs. Yes. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, we finished a little early. Thank you all very much. And again, reach out if we can be of any help in any way. Thank you.